CSGO's matchmaking has been a little more than questionable for the entirety of its existence. It's incredibly difficult to rank up and seemingly random at times, and because of this, completely frustrating to play and definitely not the game mode you want to be promoting to newer players with all of its flaws. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about why CSGO matchmaking is in all honesty horrible and my experience with it recently. But quickly, before we get into it, as always, if you enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and check out my sponsor, Skinport. Skinport is a CSGO marketplace where you can find some insane discounts and save a ton of money buying skins. For example, if you're looking for a new knife skin, a Karambit stand is only going to cost you $243 on Skinport, while they're nearly $330 on the Steam market. So you're saving a ton of money, and not to mention, if you're looking to sell skins for real money, Skinport only has a 6% selling fee on items over $1,000 and a 12% on items under $1,000. So stop getting ripped off on the Steam market and sign up to Skinport today with that link in the description. But for now, let's get right into the video. So first of all, let's go to a site called csgostats.gg, which shows you all of your past games, stats, stuff like that. A certain period that I want to highlight for myself is about a month ago in late October to early November. Throughout the games you could see on your screen, you could see that I won the vast majority of them, between this period having a record of 16 wins and 4 losses, with the wins happening in pretty long consistent streaks. Throughout this time, I was dropping over 100 ADR in most games, not struggling to go positive KD wise, and most of them even dropping 1.5 plus HLTV ratings, as I should because I'm a Face It level 10 player and pretty much just play MM with friends that are the same gold Nova rank as me. But how in the world is it possible that I have 16 wins and 4 losses with 100 plus ADR even in games I lose, and one of these games where I have below 90 ADR out of 20 games, so I'm performing very well and I'm still not ranking up. I've got 5,000 hours in this game, so personally I'm used to it by now because the ranking system has been like this pretty much since the beginning of when I started playing. But for newer players that don't know about Faceit, ESEA, any other platform, or just don't feel like they're good enough to move on to another platform yet, you've got to imagine that this isn't fun for them. And not to mention, why would a newer player or any player really want or need to move on to another platform? Shouldn't the base competitive mode in the game actually be good? Something I know you guys are going to comment on as well is that matchmaking is still filled with cheaters. I've seen a lot of people say this throughout pretty much my entire time in the game, and it's definitely not something that's gone away. But surprisingly, this hasn't been anywhere near as much of an issue for me recently, and it looks like Valve actually somehow fixed the issue. If we take a look back at CSGO stats and filter to show banned players in my recent games, the last one I got was in September, nearly 3 months ago now. But if we keep scrolling down and looking at the dates on the left hand side, you can see that the amount of cheaters were insane. People in my games getting banned within a few days of each other a lot of the time, and sometimes if I played more than one match in a day, I would get cheaters banned in both of the games on the same day as well, which just shows the obscene amount of cheaters that were in this game. So thankfully, Valve got their head on right with that aspect of matchmaking, but it seems like the much easier part to fix, which is letting players know when they're going to rank up or just how the ranking system works in general, is just something they don't seem to care about. So what can be done about the ranking system? Well, let's look at Valorant's ranking system for comparison. Even if you don't like the game, you have to admit that the way they do ranking up is a lot more rewarding to the player. Anytime you win or lose, you get told exactly how much your rank has changed by. It shows you how close you are to the next rank, and it's not absurdly difficult to rank up. And honestly, it's pretty difficult to D-rank as well, which makes sense to me. If you don't play the game, let me just explain this. But you can currently see that I'm 10 elo into Diamond 3. Let's say I lose the next game and lose 15 elo off that. Rather than ranking down and being 95 elo into Diamond 2, I'll still be Diamond 3, but I'll be 0 elo and have to lose another game to D-rank. So when you D-rank in Valorant, you have to be at 0 elo and then lose another game. This way, once you get to a rank you've earned, it's a lot easier to stay in it rather than to D-rank back down, which to me makes a lot of sense. You've proven you could play at that level and shouldn't lose a game or two and be completely punished to a lower rank and have to win like 4 more games to rank back up like you do in CS, at least from my experience. So Valorant's ranking system is definitely something CSGO can take note from, or at least move over to the ELO system, which is something I want to talk about now. Honestly, I have no idea why CSGO devs seem to be against a ranking system that actually shows players when they're gonna rank up. It's something that all top games are doing now and is something that the community has complained about for years. I mean, even FACEIT and ESEA do it, so I don't really see any issues with it there. I played on both of the platforms and I wouldn't say it makes people more toxic when they're about to reach their rank up game or whatever, so I don't really understand what the difference is. I would much rather prefer it than not knowing, and I think CSGO devs need to realize that as well from a player's point of view. CSGO is still actually on something called the Glico 2 system, which I'm not really going to go too in depth in because it is a bit complicated, but all you really need to know is that it isn't the ELO system. Like FACEIT, ESEA, Valorant, chess uses the ELO system. Literally games from hundreds of years ago use it. Why are we not using this system, dude? But I still think that's where the main problem is. I don't know if they tried too hard at the beginning of the game to make a ranking system that they thought was fair, but it's clearly proven that it doesn't work. We've given it like 5+ years of testing at this point, and it's safe to say the players don't like it. There's been years of complaints, and literally not a single player I've heard from is happy with how the current ranking system works. You can't even argue that if they change it from the Glico 2 system to ELO, that it'll be worse, because in my eyes, there's no way the actual ranking aspect in CSGO matchmaking could get worse. I can't think of anything they could do to make it not any better than it is now, and something needs to be done about it, because there's honestly right now no reason to play MM. But yeah, I think that's enough of a rant for today. So besides that, just let me know what you guys think of how MM and how it currently is. Is it better for you than it is for me? Is it worse? Are there still cheaters in your games? Maybe I'm just the one guy who can't rank up in this game. But yeah, seriously. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.